Wow. Infernoble, 60 card deck. Let's get to it. Let's not search for the Millennium Ankh because we're not playing that nonsense. We're going to Heritage, add the Ogier. Ogier sent from the deck the Gearfried. We're now going to Renaud, add the Gearfried back. Veil is going to say no. And then FM Productions like, holy moly, this dude just veiled my Renaud? I can now go into Isold? Is that right? No, I'm going to Mulcharmy you too. Well, shite. We'd Baron to floor pass. Not so bad. Except they have an impermanence to go even. Wait, did Ogier just make it untargetable? What does this do? Can't be destroyed by card effects, can still be targeted by impermanence. That sucks. Bua loss is dead, unfortunately. We're going to... Now, does she return herself as a cost? The standby phase... Oh, unfortunately, she does not return by cost, so you can't chain Full Loss to her returning while your field would be open. So we have Nibiru plus a negate. Why are we not imperming? No imperm? We don't care? Okay, we'll just go into a Lubellion. I guess the Jerusalem goes even with it anyway. Yeah, sure. Don't need to imperm. She's still in the field, but she's not a problem. We do have to worry about the Nibiru. We still have an open normal summon. Now, Steam the Cloak is a full one-card wombo combo Fiendsmith. It's going to summon 3 bodies on the field. Its initial body, the Almirage, a token. I think it summons another token. It's like 4 bodies in total. Come forth into Moon of the Closed Heaven. Now, we're going to Nibiru before it turns into a Requiem. Not today. And then we have our Nibiru token, sure. Reborn from Engrave. I guess 3 bodies still because it tributes, right? Tribute a monster, then reborn to, yeah, it's plus 3 bodies. We have Steam the Cloak back up. Full loss before you attempt to summon anything else in the extra deck. We're controlling it up. Control the duel. Normal summon Veiler. Self-inflicted lethal. Control. Control, control. Steam the Cloak, Fiendsmith, control. I like it a lot. Wanted Seeker for our Diablo Star. We're dealing with a Bestial, Ash, and Impermanence. Not going to imperm the Diablo Star. We're going to be waiting for something better. Original Sinful, send Diablo Star to come forth and summon for the deck. Nothing is the Ash Blossom negates. So what did we do? We normal summon the Veiler, going to Emperor Charles. We have a spell and trap card negate. We have a spell negate, so they activate tracked, it will get negated. We do also have a Promethean Princess. We have an Impermanence, and I don't think we have a way to equip a card to get poppin'. So negate, negates, Imperm, Promethean, 4 forms of disruption. Let's go. Now remember, we just showcased the updated stats on the site for top cards. Emperor Charles an 87% win rate. Banish away the Ice Sold. Druid Swarm is an issue here. Being able to send the Charles to the graveyard. Moon of the Closed Heaven. We have the Steam of the Cloak, summon a token plus Druid Swarm, send. We're gonna, oh boy, we lose the, and we also don't get destroyed on that, so we still get to go into a Requiem. What now? We lose 2 disruptions to use a disruption with our Promethean Princess. We just have Impermanence left. That's it. Requiem. Come forth and summon from the deck here into our Engraver. Let's engrave it up. Requiem equip so we could send the Requiem to get rid of the Promethean Princess, opening up the field. As we now tracked, add the Lurie. Lurie reborn itself back in the field after being discarded, and FM's like, nah, I'm out of here. Damn. You know, it wasn't through like the normal combo, but we still summoned the highest win rate when summoned monster in the entire game. And the win rate just went down a little bit. Not to FM's fault, though. It's not his fault. It's just an unfortunate situation. Let's keep on going. Let's go. Lordy Load is going to be on activation add, so the Ghost Ogre cannot pop it. We're going to Primite Roar. as we're not going to cross out designate the Droll and Lockbird. Maybe we don't play Droll to summon a Red Eyes Black Dragon. Bro, you're playing more than one Red Eyes in your deck? Ain't no way. Normal summon the Barrel, which will set a card under Droll, so we don't have to worry about that. Lordy Load will now be activatable with the Ghost Ogre, but we do not do it, as we now make a Red Eyes Flare Metal. So what did we accomplish here? We turned off our Drill Beam. It's no longer activatable because we don't have a normal monster on the field or hand. But instead of Drill Beaming, your opponent takes 500 damage every time they activate a card. And we have no disruption. That's it. Okay. You are under Max C, though. Bonfire, get burning. Burn for 500. I mean, Max C was all we needed. We don't need Drill Beam. Lordy Load. Now we got the Ogre popping the load. So the load is not going to be summoning a monster onto the field here, a normal monster, which would then turn on the Drill Beam. Keep on burning for 5 as we triple Tactics Talent. Go for the draw 2. I don't care about your hand. Off the top of the deck, we're now going to be summoning our Red Eyes Darkness Metal in response to the activation of summoning our Red Eyes Dark Dragon, Black Dragon that is. We're going to chain Max C as we Ash Blossom negate the Max C. Now, does Red Eyes Black Dragon have a finisher attack when attacking for game? Surely it does. And now, the Drill Beam is activatable. Get ready to Drill Beam it up. 2400 to the face. Drill Beam will target and banish anything. We have Hermetic Seal, another form of disruption here. So we could do, if we're feeling extra spicy, not only can we target, negate, and banish, we could also spin a card back. We could summon a Ball Drake from the deck, and then on the summon of an extra deck monster, we could tribute off Red Eyes Black Dragon to then banish that monster. We potentially have 2 to 3 forms of disruption. Probably just 2. So we just, oh, nope, you're not turning off my Hermetic Seal. Not happening. Nope. Negate. As the Oak can reborn the Poplar Engraved, that is definitely a big play, I would say, to possibly use Drill Beam on. Primite Roar. What is going on here? This is another secret form of disruption I should have remembered. Your opponent normal summons. It's similar to a Promethean Princess, but instead of on a special summon, it's a normal summon. You banish this card, target a normal you control in your graveyard, then you banish one monster from the field with less attack than that monster. It's a non-target banish. So banish away the Oak so that the Oak cannot summon for the deck a Flameburge. All right, so we held onto the Drill Beam. We're going to Drill Beam the Poplar. Sure, there you go. Roar into Drill Beam. The Drill Beam will be recyclable on the very next turn. We could set it back on the field. And that's right, we're in the situation where you could play Summon Skull, Red Eyes Black Dragon. With Drill Beam in your deck is now viable. People are playing White Dustin, Ryu, Clown, or some nonsense I saw in another Primite deck. Let's go. Akimo, Snake Eye Ash, Imperm the Ash, and just like that, we're now going to be going into our Fiendsmith plays. Let's speed this up. What do we have here? We have negate up to 2 cards in the field. We have negate a monster. We have Promethean Princess from Engraved, popping a monster on special summon. We have Ash Blossom to gain interaction with the deck. That's 4 forms of disruption. And the barrel sets the Drill Beam, which, because it's a quick play, it's not activatable the turn it's set. So if you load the Drill Beam into your hand, it will be activatable with barrel in hand. But if you normal summon the barrel, the Drill Beam is no longer activatable because the Drill Beam requires a Primate card in hand or a normal monster in hand or on the field. So let's see how we do this. We're going to open with the load. Drill Beam is activatable until we summon the barrel. So we're going to use it right now, reveal the barrel, banish away the Photon Lord. Now, what's worth noting is that the Desiree is completely untargetable thanks to the sequence, making it untargetable. We're going to grab a Max Metal Morph. Normal summon our Black Metal, going into Striker Dragon and trigger the Black Metal to search our deck for a Red Eyes monster. Ash Blossom negating the effect to search for what? For a Red Eyes Darkness Metal we already have in our hand. Perfect. 2 more forms of disruption. Lordy Load is activating to summon a monster from the deck. Now, it's worth noting that when this resolves, your special summon monsters cannot activate for the rest of the turn. That's it. So anything we summon from the extra deck, the Red Eyes Darkness Metal now can't activate, if we could even get it out. We still have the Desiree ready to negate. We have the Sunlight Wolf to recycle, the Engrave Ash Blossom back to our hand to be used next turn. So what do? We could still special summon Red Eyes, we just can't activate it. And the Max Metamorph will be able to tribute it. So banish, and we are not able to reborn. That's okay, we got the Max Metamorph. Now to you. Uh-oh. What kind of plays do we have? We have the Phoenix forcing out the use of the Max Metamorph. No, popping the Lordy Load, which while on field was doing nothing until it would do something next turn, I guess. We have Flameburge. Now, in response to Flameburge summon, we're going to be tributing off the Red Eyes Darkness Metal to summon nothing from the deck because the Desiree negates. Negating our own Promethean, negating the Max Metamorph, and it's over. All right, that's fine. 10,000 damage here. Let's take this into game number 3. At least a deck main decking. Red Eyes Black Dragon has taken at least one duel off of the current best deck in the game. Gianna, what happened to their third game? Can you look into Hakimo and Marco? I think their third game disappeared. It vanished. Vanished. Memento time. Anguish is going to be searching our deck for a Sleepy. If they do that, then they already have the horse in hand. We're going to chain Max C. And with this, we're going to be recycling the Bone Party from Engrave. Let's talk about these disruptions. So with Creation King, we could pop up to 2 cards on the field. That's going to be one form of disruption. We have the Combined Creation, which could reborn from Engrave the Anguish, which could search our deck for a Mace, which could steal a monster. So we could steal a monster. We have Bone Party, which could go into a Sleepy play. Is that even really a form of disruption? I think we pretty much just have 2 forms of disrupt. Harpy Feather Duster. Okay, well, it's fine. We still have our 2 disruption. That's fine. Yup. Anguish, search for Mace, and then, or Sleepy, I guess, to fusion summon. Raigeki? How do we play around that? The field spell would reborn back, and now it's not going to. That's a problem. Acheron's going to reborn. Sleepy can then summon to then fuse with the Acheron, which will now get banished by the Dimensional Fissure. Harpy Duster into Raigeki. It's like a 2004 combo. Ain't no way. Fenrir on summon is going to be banishing the Acheron. Now Sleepy will chain summon. Sleepy will activate on summon to fuse, but there's nothing to fuse with because it's now gone. So what we could have potentially done is... summon it at the start of the battle phase. They declare an attack, target to banish it, but you have to fuse on summon anyway. We're just screwed. We're super screwed. Big time screwed. And now there's Solemn Strike. Solemn Strike, a Floodgate, a Fenrir to banish. This does not activate, but it's a special summon. When a monster would be special summoned, we're now going to negate and banish it. Okay. Well, so the Fenrir would have not triggered, what's important to note there. Now, what's also cool is the Combined Creation, if it's the only monster you control, it can attack everything on the field, a full board wipe of just taking out their 2 bodies. Let's hop into game number 2. All right, we do have to not deal with anything because we have Ash Blossom to negate the Max C. Let's do it, which means we have a full combo, Bone Party combo. What do we do at Bone Party? Let's find out. Let's go. Memento field spell, reset another Bone Party, double up the Bone Party. Now it really sucks here. We have an Earth and an Earth. They're both Earth, meaning the super polymerization is going to fuse them together. So we're going to lose out on the ability to reborn from engrave. We're going to lose the ability to destroy multiple cards on the field. So if we lose out on these two cards, what are our forms of disruption? We have Little Knight Chain banished, double special summon negate with Caesar. Now this is only a special summon that activates. So the special summon of an ogre, Caesar cannot negate that, but the Theosis, we can negate the Theosis. So let's find out what we do. Yep, super poly. Yep. Let's go. Now, what's important to note here is the Creation King does not work like Little Knight. Little Knight has to banish both cards that are being targeted, but the Creation King states target an equal number of Memento cards and your opponent's cards, destroy them. So if you were to Creation King in response to the summon, then they chain super poly, the monster would still be destroyed. So you may be thinking, did we miss our opportunity to activate the Creation King? No, the turn player with their toggle on, and only with the toggle on, would they have been able to use the super poly before they could respond with popping the ogre before it gets super polyed. And now we have the Mood Dragon, making the ogre untargetable, by the way, thanks to the Mood Dragon being naturally water. The ogre is big enough to suicide into the Caesar. We're going to look at the top 5 cards of the deck, and we're going to ensure that they are guaranteed to draw the Maxi. 100% Maxi goes to their hand against a Solemn Judgment and a Preparations. Yep, there's the Maxi. No good. Engraver Engrave's going to be reborning. Can you Solemn Judgment this? No. Can you Solemn Judgment this? Yes. Do you? We did not. Can you Solemn Judgment the effect? No. The summon? No. Can you Solemn Judgment the combined creation? Yes. Does it trigger the field spell? No. Yes, no, negate, no. All right, we discarded our D-Fissure. Is that what happened? Yeah, we discarded that. Should have kept Fissure. I'm thinking maybe we should have. Now we triggered the Memento field spell by crashing our monster, which somehow triggers off a non-Memento being destroyed. That is disgusting. What the heck? Now the Preparations cannot reborn from engrave the ogre. It could only summon the ogre if it were banished or in the hand. So as someone's saying in the chat, maybe D-Fissure would have been better than keeping a Theosis in our hand, which we can't even use Theosis on anything, right? Yeah, we should have D-Fissured it up. Floodgates are good, right? Floodgates are great. We should have held on to the floodgate, mate. Targeting Earth. So Earth monsters cannot be targeted. Okay. I think he thinks that the Twin Dragon targets. It does not. What would target that we wanted to... I don't think that stops anything, does it? Maybe I'm not really thinking about it too much. End our turn. We got lots of ways to disrupt them. We can, with the creation, search for a mace, steal a monster. We can Creation King, pop multiple cards in the field, but there is a Raigeki. Wipe up the opposing field, chain Creation King to take out the Preparations, which has nothing to summon. Ogre is stuck in the grave because we discarded our D-Fissure. Wipe it up, which will trigger the field spell to reborn a monster with a lower level. Lower level than combined creation is the Creation King, but it already activated. Get poppin'. It all came down to discarding D-Fissure. That was it. That's it. Let's go. Fenrir is here, and on the topic of floodgates being great, we got Skill Drain, which I forget in the last Meta Weekly. Skill Drain extended the duel to what, 50 turns or some nonsense like that. We had to make a Zeus, activate Zeus to wipe the field, but then chain Ogre to pop our own Zeus to play around Skill Drain for the full field wipe. It was beautiful. As we now have an Arise Heart, which has a built-in floodgate, just like that, mate. Oh, this is bad. This is real bad. Anything sent to the grave is banished. The Engraver will get banished, everything banished. Solemn Judgment to protect the Arise Heart. Skill Drain, which would negate our Arise Heart, so we'll probably wait on that because the banishment is good enough. Mace will be searching our deck. We're going to Bone Party, also pop a card from our hand or on the field to summon a body onto the field. We're going to search for a Sleepy, as we also search for a Combined Creation, which uses the Graveyard as fuel, so it's likely not going to ever be summoned. We also have the Arise Heart, which could target any card in the field and banish it. Face down, that is. So Sleepy, I guess, could fuse with 3 cards in our hand if we want to, up to 3. We could Memento Fusion, try to go into a Guardian Chimera. The Creation King could send from the deck to the grave, but everything gets banished. We are going to try to use Creation King to get popping, yeah? Memento Fusion, Chain. Did we activate a pop? We're just sending. We're not even trying to pop the Arise Heart here. Guardian Chimera has gone through, and we could not Solemn Judgment, but we could Skill Drain. Do we Skill Drain? Do we Skill Drain? Arise Heart, Chimera, pop 1, draw 2. We do not Skill Drain. It goes through. We take out the Arise Heart. We think we're good, but there is a Skill Drain waiting to be used. Memento Fusion is absolutely dead. Imperm is all we have. That's it. Birth cannot birth the Arise Heart back in the field. Fenrir attempting to search. Do we Solemn Judgment? Yes, we do! Holy moly! Solemn Judgment. Negate an impermanence. As the Fenrir now searches our deck for a monster we can normal summon thanks to the birth. We have to go into Unicorn, normal summon, search for Theosis, summon a body from the deck. We can make some big plays on. We could Dark Arm, wipe up the field. We can Arise Heart, and then we're back to square one where we put all that effort into dealing with the Arise Heart. Arise Heart is banned in the TCG, and Kashtira is still a great deck in the TCG. It's crazy.